And today my friend Mr. Abhijit Somvanshi, he came with the family to travel in Japan. So I know him almost 13 years now here. So and his wife, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kiran Somanchi. I work with the Economic Times.
And I'm here on a trip to Japan with family.
Yeah, she writes very nice articles and
Tell me about your name, your age.
Pratyush.
Huh.
And my name is Pratyush Somanchi. I'll turn 13 next month and I'm from Thane, Mumbai.
Hello friends, I am your Japan Sai speaking. How are you? Hope all are doing fine. And today my friend Mr. Abhijit Somvanshi, he came with the family to travel in Japan. So I know him almost 13 years now.
Yeah.
And he's working in Bombay.
Yeah.
And he wanted to show the world to the children and he wanted to experience Japan. So he came here. So and his wife, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kiran Somanchi. I work with the Economic Times and I'm here on a trip to Japan with family.
Yeah, she writes very nice articles, and can I tell about what kind of articles you write?
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
yeah. So she writes about ESG. She writes about FMCG and a lot of cultural things and environment, pharmaceuticals. She's in ET intelligence group and very highly educated, though she's looks small but she has a big brain. So she's a doctor. She studied in Tata
PhD from TISS.
She's doctor and Tata
Tata Institute of
Institute
Social
of
Sciences.
Social Sciences, and she's a cost accountant and company secretary. Law, you studied law. You studied psychology. Oh my God, you did a lot. So and Abhijit also doing a lot
I work
of
for
great.
RBL Bank.
Hmm?
I work for RBL Bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's working for RBL Bank and he's one of the top guys in that bank.
I look after marketing, communications, customer service at the bank. Yeah.
Something like
It's
that.
a large workforce. Yeah.
A big workforce, and he's very much in developing that bank from the very small bank to slowly it's growing very rapidly, and his contribution is a lot in that. So apart from that, I just want to most of the people from India, they wanted to know how to travel to Japan and how to come with the family, because many people want to come, because most of the people go to Europe and they go to US, but Japan is new to them. So some people, some of my viewers, they ask me what are the how do you come. So I know I can explain, but you have a real time experience. You came, so I thought it is better to ask you. So how was the visa difficult? What are the documents you submitted to get the visa?
Actually, not like right from the time that you have to visit the Japanese consulate website. The process is very simple. It's all listed out what all you need. Even the moment you go to the visa consulate office, from the relative crowd, you come to know that it's not exactly the most popular destination for the people. So the crowd is less, and they're pretty efficient from what they expect and what they have listed out. And if you have the documents,
So
it's
you
very
you
easy.
need to provide your itinerary to
Yeah,
them.
you need to provide your itinerary, your flight tickets, your already booked flight tickets, and your basic documents, the very bank statements, your income tax statement.
So bank statement, how many years? 6 months or 1 year?
6 months. 6 months.
Okay,
And
okay.
if you are working, then and a letter from your employer saying that they don't have a problem about you taking leave and going out, and what is the purpose of your visit. So it should be explicitly said. If you have kids, then the kids' school ID card, copy of that has to be included. So basically, they want to be ensured that for the places that you come from,
Do you have to show a certain amount of money to get the visa? Not
nothing of
required.
that sort.
Okay,
Nothing of
okay,
that sort.
okay.
We had applied for a tourist visa, but we got through a 5-year multiple entry visa. So depending on your
They give 5 year multiple.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I didn't know that is there.
yeah, so they give that, and the visa cost is also quite nominal.
Because so many of my friends, they applied from Chennai. So they're getting like only 3 months. So
Yeah, so based, I think they judge you like based on your
Travel history or
credentials,
something.
travel
Maybe.
history. If you already have US visa, maybe based on that they judge you on those different parameters and accordingly give you the visa.
okay, okay.
And I think even the cost was very cheap. It was not. It was just about 500 rupees that they charge for a visa.
So
it's
get
not-
the visa. Yeah, previously.
It's not very
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
So
That's true, and it's not like as painful as US to.
Not
get
at all,
that.
actually, very easy. And the fact that they did away with all this COVID restrictions was another good benefit or incentive for us to kind of go.
Do you need to take health insurance before
We
coming here?
took our travel insurance, but it was not.
I
compulsory.
don't think it's mandatory like
Yeah.
like US or Europe, but you know, and we generally take travel insurance, but I don't think it was mandatory for visa.
No, it wasn't.
So Abhijit, why did you choose Japan to travel? Is there any particular reason for this?
Well, again, you know, we work for a Japanese company. You know, I know you from there, and you know, so obviously Japan was always on the cards for me. And you know, we do international travel, you know, every year, and we've been to various other places of the world. And I think for me to take my kids, you know, I thought it was important for them to know, understand a little bit of, you know, deep Asian culture, Japanese culture. You know, we've read a lot about Japan, its history. You know, fact that, you know, I could get an opportunity to visit Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and you know, several other places. It was very interesting. Obviously, we all know it's a clean country. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful country. I thought,
So you traveled which countries up to now, mostly?
well, we've traveled across Europe, US, been to Africa, multiple Asian countries. We've traveled multiple countries, you know, in
So Africa, which countries you've been to?
So we've been to Tanzania, we've been to Kenya. So yeah, you know, so these are some places that we've been to, and you know, obviously, it's every country has its own beauty.
Yeah.
You know, there is wildlife in Africa. There is modernity in Europe. There is a huge amount of architectural beauty in Europe.
Yeah.
US has its own beauty. I think Japan had a specific calling, and we thought we should explore Japan.
Yeah. I've taken my kid, my son, to Serengeti, Tanzania,
Beautiful. It's just-
and Ngorongoro.
Yeah.
And we've been to Kenya, Tanzania, and been to pyramids, Egypt, and all that.
Correct.
It was
Absolutely
I like
phenomenal.
mostly the animals. Then
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
camped in the
Safaris.
and we camped in that place where there's no fence between animals and
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. The
It's,
cheetahs right below our, you know, jeeps, and it's just surreal.
I just saw one animal killing hunting and
Yeah,
all.
absolutely.
It was real time, very nice to see. So coming back to Japan again, is there anything specific you like in Japan? The positive side of Japan?
Yeah, there are lots of positive. I mean, Japan is a beautiful country to visit. I think what I like about Japan is it is very, very friendly for kids. It is very safe for kids. You know, I can trust my 9-year-old kid to go buy something, you know, cross the roads, come back. You know, it's very safe. They can travel by train very easily. So it's a very kid safe country, which is very interesting. Japan offers you beautiful natural landscapes. It offers you a lot of modern landscapes. You know, it is very beautiful to go around Japan. Also, it's very, very easy to travel. You know,
Have you taken Japan rail pass?
I have taken a Japan rail pass.
How much it cost you?
So Japan rail pass for the 4 of us costed us about 1,40,000 rupees for 21 days. It's a 21-day pass that I took, and you know, which came to
So
about
you're
35,000.
traveling in Japan 21 days.
We traveled for 18 days, but
18
there is
days.
nothing for 18 days, so we took
7 days, 14 days, and 21 days pass.
These were the options that we had, and we took the 21-day. And I'm glad we took that 21-day pass because it allows you to travel on the Shinkansen anywhere that you want.
Yeah.
And
So
second-
per one person, how much is that? For
that came to about 35,000 rupees for one person for 21 days.
Okay.
I mean that obviously
You know,
you take a
it's,
7-day pass.
It's very, very cheap.
Yeah, it's very
Why I say cheap? Because if I go from here to Nagoya, that's around 350 kilometers from Tokyo. One way I have to pay like 10,000 yen to 12,000 yen in between that. So 10,000 yen to 12,000 is if I say 10,000 yen, it's around 6,000 rupees just to go one way. And come back, you know, it's total 25,000 just for 350 kilometers go To and fro.
No, we were told, we were specifically recommended that buy GR pass before you come. So we precisely did that and we really took advantage of it.
Yeah.
In fact, we could travel from from Tokyo to Kyoto, Hiroshima, Osaka, back to Tokyo, several places. So.
Kiran-san, what is your itinerary like?
So we started off, so when we got off, first of all our itinerary was recommended by, I took ChatGPT 4's help to design itinerary because I thought instead of...
So what did you write in ChatGPT?
So, what could be, we have an 18-day program from, date from this day to this day. What would you recommend an ideal
So
itinerary?
did you write I'm using Japan railpass in that?
No, we didn't.
You
so,
didn't.
so it just said that, okay, these are the days and this is how you can difference. So,
Okay.
So that's how the ChatGPT came out with.
Okay.
So in that we made a little change in our, we just kind of scrambled the cities. We just changed the order of the cities in which we visited. But so moment we landed in Tokyo Narita airport, we actually went out, took a Shinkansen and went to Kyoto.
So you landed in Tokyo, you went to Kyoto.
Yes.
On the same day.
On the same day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't really enter
You
Tokyo as
used
such.
Air India to come here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we prefer flying Indian
Indian
Airlines.
Airlines.
So
Very nationalistic, patriotic.
no, basically practical practical convenience on food and
Yeah, I also often travel Air India because main thing for us, people who are staying here, luggage. So
They are
they
very
give
good at
they
that.
give two.
They're quite
So
liberal.
like each person can carry like 23 kilos or
24
something.
kilos to
24
add to,
kilos,
into
so two. So we can. I mean, taking from here not much, but coming back, we a lot of spices and food items for us.
So I can understand,
Yeah.
But so coincidentally, we had very small luggages this time. We were traveling very light. Each one had just a small suitcase of 7 kgs. So, but we
So
prefer.
you don't have any other thing, only 7 kilos per
one
each.
shoulder bag and a 7 kg
But
suitcase.
how do you change? I mean, wash. How do you wash?
Yeah, so we preferred Airbnbs on this entire trip. We have not lived in hotels. We have actually booked Airbnbs on the go, and we have really been very happy with the choice. And it was very
So
convenient.
you booked everything while you are in India or after coming
No,
here?
after coming here, like before we landed in Kyoto, we booked in India. But after we landed in Kyoto,
Can you talk a little slower?
oh yeah, little, yeah.
Because my people are not they are not used to so much fast
Oh,
English.
so sorry. Yeah, so sorry. So the moment we Kyoto booking we already did before we came to Japan.
Okay.
But once we landed here in Kyoto, then every time for the next destination, I was booking it just before, like 2 days before that.
Okay.
So out of the 18 days trip, overall trip, I think the first 2 days is what we had booked.
In advance.
Before coming to Japan, and everything else we booked, by the day. So,
Okay.
we
And
decided-
availability is not a problem.
Availability is not a problem. I think that's ample.
We got
availability.
really good properties, villas in Osaka. We booked a villa in Hakone. We got really good properties, and most of them were super hosts with good rankings. So we
Okay.
didn't really. Maybe it's off season, that's why also, or maybe it's past.
Maybe after the COVID, no. So
Yeah.
otherwise now once the Chinese people start coming,
Maybe, I think so.
then it will be totally.
But one recommendation I would like to make is if you're coming anyone with more than 2 people, 3, 4, 5 people, I think Airbnb is a much better option in Japan because Airbnbs are available, everywhere. And like in a hotel room, you may get a room which is say 250, 300 square feet hotel rooms. So I think Airbnb is a much better option to look at when in Japan because even if you look at hotels, for example, you get 250 square feet hotel rooms for 2-3 people.
250 square feet.
250, 300 square feet rooms.
So much big? No, 25.
25 square meter.
Square feet.
Yeah,
Ah,
so
okay.
it usually have about 250 square feet
Okay.
rooms.
Square feet.
In a hotel. But on Airbnb, we got like 1500 square feet Airbnbs also.
But
three rooms,
what is
4
the
rooms.
cost?
It's the same. Cost works out to be, I'll tell you the cost also. On an average, our Airbnb cost for the last 18 days, on an average, has been about 12,000 rupees a
Yeah,
night.
12,000 rupees a night.
A night for 4 of you.
For 4 of us, and a hotel would cost you around the same, but Airbnbs are
But
2 to
Japan
3
generally-
times bigger.
Japan generally they will charge per head. Per
No.
head.
No.
In the hotels they charge.
Hotels,
per
yeah.
The hotels they charge per head. Maybe Airbnb, some places they charge per room.
No, they charge for
Airbnb
full
has
facility.
been full apartment. So we have wherever we have been, we have taken full apartment,
Full
full
apartment.
house,
Okay.
full villa.
So in fact, we've got big villas, reasonably big villas, in the same price point.
And main areas, like
What main
close to
I think
that.
accessibility, wherever we went in Japan, I think the last mile accessibility is there. So you get a subway or a metro within 2 minutes of your place that you're staying.
Okay.
So at the max, you have to walk 2 to 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
And that I think the Airbnb algorithm also is designed in such a way that the top rated facilities just come up first.
Okay,
And those top rated are rated based on the location, based on the
okay.
restaurant, accessibility and everything.
Okay,
So
okay.
we don't have to bother too much. When moment we see the top rated ones, we know that they will be located properly.
Okay. So, because most of the people, Indians normally, we are very budget conscious. I'm also very budget conscious.
Yes, of course.
One has to be.
One
Same
has
here.
to be. And so when you started planning to come to Japan, what was the budget you have in your mind?
See, on an average, whenever we do an international trip, if it's a 3-week kind of a trip.
So every time you go, you take 3 weeks?
Generally, when we do a longer May holiday, when the kids have a holiday, I prefer a 3-week holiday. When we do a 3-week holiday, largely, Japan is in the same ballpark, like, for example, US 3-week holiday. And so I had planned for a 9 to 10 lakh rupee budget for 4 of us, which is about 2.25 lakh or 2.5 lakh per person. And we've stayed in that range. I mean, we've not busted that range,
So four people, 21 days.
18 days.
18 days.
18 days.
Including flight tickets.
Including I'll tell you, flight
account-
tickets, accommodation, all our food and travel and insurance and everything else. Even a little bit of shopping, not much. We're not much into shopping. All of that in an approximate range will be about 9 to 9.5 lakh
9
rupees
to 9.5. Okay.
for 4 people, which is about 2.25 lakh per person.
Okay, so for all these expenses, how do you pay? You use credit card or anything else?
So there are 2 ways. I generally like to carry a travel card with me. There are good international travel cards available with all banks, and the travel card is good because it doesn't. There is no additional forex fee markup that you have to pay. It is whatever you've loaded, as per currency conversion. You pay only that
So
much.
you put money in the travel card in
From
India,
India, correct.
and you use it any ATM here, and there's no withdrawal charge.
No,
and
there is
all
no
that.
withdrawal charge. So there are good quality travel cards available. There are no withdrawal charge.
Example?
Like the one that I carry is a Thomas Cook international travel card. Again, I could withdraw at any ATM without any.
But
transaction.
suppose you put say 5 lakhs in that, and you didn't use 5 lakhs, and
I
can you
go
take it back?
I can go back and withdraw it.
Okay.
So a travel card is a very good option. If you are traveling with credit card, the credit card basically means that your cost goes up by 3.5 to 4%. So you should carry an international travel credit card. Where
International travel.
there are like, for example, my bank has an international travel credit card where there is zero markup on forex transactions, where there is no extra charge that is levied on your forex transaction.
But the currency itself, is it?
Currency you get charged at the current currency rate. So that's the only rate which is natural. I mean, today's market rate is what you will be paying.
Okay.
No additional fee. So but travel card suits a lot of purpose. You can use it without any risk. I mean, the most risk that you carry is the loaded money that is there. So nobody can, and then you can withdraw money from any ATM.
Okay.
Japan is largely a cash, society. A lot of people prefer
Nowadays
cash.
we have like a SoftBank related PayPay, like a
Yeah,
ATM kind
correct,
of
correct,
thing.
correct.
We have that.
But it's
I've
very
not seen-
difficult because at one place when my Amex was not working, so I use Amex at back home and HDFC credit card, and I just made them international to be able to use for international transactions. But there the card was not working, not accepted, and they asked me to either get a cash or use PayPay. But PayPay I was not able to download. It says that you cannot, your country's jurisdiction doesn't allow you to download PayPay, and I was like, okay.
But
go
is
on.
it for suppose Paytm you want to use in US, you cannot use the same? No?
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, but like
geography.
suddenly I felt quite handicapped. Like I had to
No,
have
but
my
I
cash.
think it's very easy. If if you carry just one international travel card, it solves your problem a lot. You don't have to pay anything extra. It's just the currency, whatever that currency is priced at, you pay that
I
much.
think it's better than your credit
It's the
card.
best. It's the best. Way to
So
travel.
yearly, how many times you travel the world like this?
I think once a year at
Once
least
a
we have
year.
an international holiday. Last year this time we were in the US.
Okay.
So this year in Japan. So maybe yeah.
And it's because it's very easy. My kids are small; they are going to school.
So one of his kid is 11 years now.
No, one is 9-year-old
Nine.
and one is 12-year-old.
9 and 12.
So
Okay.
since we our travel.
What
then-
is that you think they are learning by seeing all this?
Oh,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
asking
see,
not,
yeah,
I know,
no,
because I also
because
have similar
I think,
size.
I think
Because I want to, from the
I think-
viewer point of view, I'm asking.
I think travel is the best medium to learn the world. You get to see people, you get to meet people. So many people ask me why do I not prefer travel agents to plan my travel. And I keep saying, if you want to understand the world, you should never use a travel agent. Because it is very important for me to land in Japan and try and go to the counter and talk to him and figure out something. I understand what is the language barrier. It is very important for me to go and figure out what is the food they eat. Is it compatible to me? I'm a vegetarian. Is this food having anything which is meat or beef or anything? If not, that what are my options? That struggle. When you face that last mile struggle, you get to know the world far better.
Yeah, and kids are experiencing the same thing firsthand like the way we are experiencing. So I'm happy that if what I'm seeing at 42, my son is being able to see it at 12 or my daughter at 9. So I'm sure that it is making them much smarter than for them at their
And it's
age.
better than somebody else planning your travel itinerary. It's you planning that is far better, and kids get to learn that.
I meet some people before coming. They meticulously plan, extremely meticulously plan. I think because I do not know, because each individual is different. So do you plan like that or on the go?
I think
on the go.
I think we prefer going on the go, and I'll tell you, I'll give you some interesting things that happened because of that. I think there was while we were landing, as I said, the only 2 days that we had booked for Kyoto, we were looking at the price of an Airbnb before we landed, and 3 days before the price was whatever that price was. Before we took flight, 3 hours before that we booked that place, and we
Just 3 hours before.
Yeah, 3 hours before, and we actually got 20% discount on it. Then
Last
one
Yeah,
day.
so I realized that the closer that you book to your travel, sometimes, of course, and availability is a big issue. But yeah, if it remains available, it's actually cheaper to book it as close as.
In fact, I'll tell you incidents. We were in, and sometimes the reverse also happens. Like for example, we were in Miami last year when the Miami Grand Prix was happening that next day, and there was not a single hotel which was available. All hotels were booked out. Just that we were driving, we had a car, so we kept searching, and it took us about 2.5 hours to figure out one accommodation somewhere. But
Yeah,
the entire city was booked out. Still, we got something. It's not that you don't get
So
up.
obviously, you see, the moment you keep it on the go, you keep yourself exposed to the risks and the benefits both. So
Okay.
you have to be mentally prepared that whatever it is, we will take it on the go. So be it the positive side or the negative
So what
side.
would have happened in that case? If I would have not got an
You sleep in the
accommodation,
car,
maybe I would have to sleep in the car, or maybe I would have had to drive out of Miami to some other location.
Exactly.
We would have found
Drive
something.
that extra mile
Drive next
and figure
But
it
what I've realized with my travel is most of these cities are planned for a very huge capacity. And unless and until there is a big event happening in that city, there is always excess capacity available.
Okay.
And there is always a discount that you get to the last mile,
Yeah.
last leg. And which
Now,
is
in US you were driving. How long you drove?
Oh, US, I've driven a lot in the US, but last time when I drove to about 7,500 kilometers
My God.
over 22 or 21 or 22 days. And we went through about 18 or 19 states of the US in that drive. And because US has big roads, big cars, it's very easy and convenient to drive.
So you took like one full stretch same car or?
Yeah, I typically prefer because where you can start and end at the same place.
Okay.
You take a big car at the place you land and you just keep driving with it. But Japan is very different. Japan has a good network of public transport across Japan. US definitely does not have that. So which is why when you drive in the US, it's better to actually take your own transport and drive
Okay.
rather than relying on
So
public.
you never thought of taking a rental car and driving here?
I thought actually, and that in fact I'm going to do it next time when I visit Japan. But honestly, my apprehension this time was the signboards on the road. Because if they are in Japanese, then I will not understand anything. So I wanted to understand how good the maps and everything is, which I fairly now I'm comfortable.
If you, I mean, some of the navigation systems they have English, so it is not that easy like US or
No,
any
no,
English
not
speaking
at all.
country. Even when I drive, also I face some difficulty because mistakenly I get down and again get onto the highway, and it's very expensive. US is
Correct.
toll free, but in
Yeah.
Japan is
I
prohibitively
mean,
expensive.
US also has its tolls, but there is no option. I mean, if you want to drive through various states in US, then I think driving is the only option.
If I have to compare like between US and Japan, between the two trips that we had, US is like more of a plug and play kind of a environment where you just come, you pick up, English is the language, so there's not much difficulty. And everything is standardized. You have a McDonald's everywhere, you have a KFC everywhere, so it's very standardized. Japan has its own cultural nuances. It's very unique in many ways. You need to know Japanese at least a fair amount. If you don't know that, you will feel little lost. Sometimes you have to ask for things or directions. So it's not as plug and play but it was not difficult. Despite that, our first time, I don't see that to be a big hindrance. So we still managed it. We were on the go. We booked Airbnbs on the go. I communicated with the hosts of those places, but we didn't have a problem as such.
And what about the communication, SIM cards and all that?
We actually converted our international roaming, and I think
I'm on Vodafone, and he's also on Vodafone.
Vodafone.
So you
both of
didn't
us-
take any SIM card here, you just used...
We are just on international roaming.
That international roaming must be expensive.
No, it's like 5,500 a package for 21 days.
So 5,500 rupees for 21 days, but there is a catch. You have a 5 GB data limit
Yeah.
Per
for
day.
21 days.
No,
Net
for the
worth.
21 days, 5
Only
GB.
5 GB?
Yeah. So we used through a lot of Wi-Fi. Wherever we've stayed, again, all Airbnbs have very good quality Wi-Fi facility available. So
And to Japan's credit, all the public transport systems have Wi-Fi. Free.
Yes. All the buses have Wi-Fi,
All buses,
all
yeah.
the trains have Wi-Fi.
you don't-
Shinkansen has a Wi-Fi. Free.
Yeah. And all the convenience store also have. If you just
Yeah.
stand outside
Correct.
any convenience store,
Yeah.
you can use on most of the public facilities.
So I think mobile phone was not a problem at all.
Yeah.
It was within, and we've still not busted our limits. I mean we still have data left. I think you were just about 1.5 GB or 2 GBs.
So the moment we landed, we realized the Wi-Fi is really good, and we kind of tested it everywhere. So in most public places, Japan has much better than US. Like US public places, not everywhere we have.
No,
this.
it's bad actually. In the US, its situation is bad. Japan has a very good quality network.
So what is that you like, apart from the communication networks, what is that which attracted you in Japan? And you tell the positive side and all the difficulties also you face. It's not only the
No, I think
positive
as I
difficulties.
said earlier also, I think Japan has a lot of positives. It's a fantastic country. People are very friendly. They want to go out of the way to help you.
Tell me one incident.
A lot of incidences. In fact, when we were when we went to several places or information counters, when they realized that they were not able to communicate with us in English, they would feel very sorry. They would want to go out of the way, use the translator app themselves, to kind of make sure that we understood it. And they for example, in our Airbnb host, I remember the first Airbnb that we stayed in. The host was not very conversant with English, and so he was using a translator app, and he would pick up our luggage. We actually put the luggage inside. There was a little bit of rain which had happened, and the bags were a little wet. He took the towels out and he cleaned the bags. And I was like, you don't have to do this. It was actually to an extent that we started feeling uncomfortable. But they believe in this concept of customer service. They believe in this concept of...
Yeah, like in India we say Atiti Devo Bhava. In Japan they actually practice it.
They actually practice it. It's
We
unbelievable.
speak, they do here.
Yeah, they do it here. They actually
When
practice
it rains, when you go to any supermarket, they'll give a special plastic cover
They
to
gave
cover
us yesterday.
the cover.
Yesterday it was raining. The first time in 18 days we saw like rains through the day in Tokyo, and everywhere we went, they will make us show us, like put it this in the bag, be comfortable, come inside. So
They were very, very helpful. So I think Japan, and that's exactly what I wanted my kids also to see. The fact that they believe in quietness, silence, not to making too much noise. Everything is organized to the extent that even the shoe racks, the way shoes are kept, it's extremely. I mean, they take it to the next level. India. We don't bring our shoes inside the house, but in Japan they practice it like the way the shoes are kept, the way things are organized.
yeah, so they take organization to the next level in the sense that they are pretty rule based, and they also want people to kind of follow those rules, and it's very law abiding, rule abiding society. It's good in many ways, but I feel sometimes the negative side of it is that.
Too systematic.
Yeah, too systematic, too perfect. Sometimes it's overwhelmingly perfect, and that is like in India we are not so perfect. We come from a place where imperfections are okay, are all right.
Fitting to Japanese perfection, not only for Indians, any foreigner is
Yeah,
difficult.
difficult.
Unless you are born and brought up here, it's very difficult to.
And I'll tell you one more interesting thing that I observed. They have a huge trust in people. They will trust you blindly. They will not ask you questions. They will trust you blindly. For example, my son is 12 years old, and obviously about 12 years, everything is adult. They count adult. So he's 12. And, never did they ever question, can I see his passport? Can I see his detail? Everywhere that we went, for 12 years and below, things are half price. Everything is half price. But they never asked me anything to show. In India, for example, we would want to thoroughly check, okay, can I see his date of birth? Can I see a card? Some validation. But in Japan, I found that trust factor.
The main thing what I feel is it's a trust is there. Apart from that, each individual feel somebody is visiting us. Somebody coming from a far away distance.
Yeah.
So even if there's a 13 years, 14 years also, they may not ask. They are not
Correct.
that strict because somebody's, they want to show the country, the quality and everything. So if you come and use these things in a proper way, then they're
No, which is
happy.
phenomenal. I think that whole warm care, the factor of care and trust is a significantly distinct identity that Japan has, which I have not seen of that nature in any part of the world.
Yeah, especially in Western countries that we have visited, like Japan is much warmer than that. Much warmer.
People, you mean,
Yeah,
not the weather you're talking.
Both. I like Japanese weather, and I like the fact that sun rises so early. Like he has taken the maximum advantage of that.
He's walking everywhere in the
Oh
morning.
yeah, absolutely. So I think one thing one has to be, if you want to come to Japan, you should be ready to walk. In fact, I've been walking on an average 15 to 18 kilometers a day.
Wow.
That's I just checked. I keep tab on my watch, which tells me how much I'm walking.
I was thinking 13 years back when I saw you, and now there's no difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I think if you want to explore Japan, you should be ready to walk.
either cycle or walk.
Cycle or walk, yeah, absolutely. If you can get a cycle or
He has done 15-18. As a family, we do every day at least 3 to 4 kilometers. And it's nice. It's not a painful walk. Like we like the fact that you walk up to the station. From station, you walk up to the next destination. It's very easy. Like it doesn't pain you or it doesn't pinch you in any way.
And even if you are tired, there's some place to sit, some place to relax. Or
yeah, so which is very interesting. I think one distinct difference that I find between say Europe or US versus vis-a-vis Japan, you see a lot of toilets everywhere. So public toilets, very very clean public toilets, across all parts of Japan. So when I look at for example, the moment you're walking and you're going to a public park, there will be a toilet which is very well maintained. Or you go to a shopping mall, or any other place. So I think it is very interesting.
I feel sometimes ashamed because I clean my toilet properly.
Yeah.
But when I go to the public toilet in the railway station,
It's cleaner.
that is much more cleaner.
Yeah,
much more cleaner.
So I'll tell you, these toilets are fantastic. I mean, my kids are just enjoying that whole gizmo stuff.
Japanese bidets.
So those gizmos that they have on the toilets. But the point is that I think one big apprehension for a traveler is when I'm out. I would need toilets and public facilities everywhere, which is there in Japan. So
And
if
you don't need to pay. In Europe, you have to
absolutely.
pay.
Yeah. So Europe and US, there are many places where you actually need to pay for these toilets. But in Japan, they have some of the cleanest toilets I've ever seen in the world, and they're all free.
And
wherever
they are
you go.
so frequently available. That is the whole point. Like we don't have to worry that, oh, let's use the toilet because we may not find one. No, it's not the case. Like every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, you have a toilet.
The only thing you don't find is actually a dustbin, which is
You know,
which is,
Ajay, go ahead, go ahead.
which is very interesting. Of course, we were prepared for it. So I think there are two things. One, as you should be ready to walk, and without any worry of a public toilet. But I think the culturally people don't eat while they're walking on the roads.
It is not manners.
Yeah.
Because you might spill the drink or throw the food,
Yeah.
and when you're walking, no, if everybody eating and running, it's
Correct.
not good. So you are not supposed to talk in the bus or
Correct.
public transportation. It's not a government rule. It's each person
Yeah.
Cultural
cultural,
etiquette.
and no eating and talking, walking and talking,
Correct, correct.
drinking and talking. Kind
Yeah,
of
which
thing.
is interesting. I think So the wonder. This is like the the eighth wonder of the world. That without having that many dustbins around, this country and the city of Tokyo manages to remain squeaky clean. I mean, it's so clean. It's unbelievable how beautifully clean the city is.
One would feel guilty even spoiling it in any way. But the way they maintain it, like it's just too much.
Talking about the dustbin, you're talking that before this terrorist attacks and all that,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
used
I
to be
heard that.
there.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
then what they did, because what is inside near the railway
Yeah.
station, it's dangerous if somebody put a bomb or
Correct,
something
correct,
like that.
correct.
So they make it visible,
Yeah.
the glass.
Yeah.
But after that, sometimes people carry a lot of waste and throw it there. So outside, not the real traveler, other people just throw. So they don't want to avoid that. And another thing is separation. So you paper, glass, all this separation. So if you keep them,
Correct.
sometimes people might mix up. So all that stuff.
Talking about separation, since I track ESG, plastic is something that we consciously look at it now, and especially in India where we are talking about reducing plastic and all, I see Japanese use of plastic is quite high. Like
Very high,
very high. Matlab, at every supermarket, every combini, we are asked for, do you want it in plastic bag? We have started saying, no, we have a bag of our own. In India, we have started getting used to the whole fact of having either a cotton bag of your own, or even the supermarket offering a cotton bag or a paper bag. But here it's plastic everywhere. Plastic utensils, plastic boxes, plastic, whatever the
Containers,
containers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everything is plastic. I think that probably can change for the better.
Yeah, I mean, especially, Japan is popular for
Yeah.
packing.
I think
the inside will be this much small, the package will be,
Yeah.
and especially you will see it when you go to buy vegetables. For the onion also they have a plastic cover, for vegetable, for one brinjal or the eggplant there's a cover for, even for egg they have a plastic cover for each one. If you see there's a
That's
net.
quite a lot of plastic. Yeah.
So I also do not like that. But recently previously they used to give carry bags for free. But government changed the regulations, so they
Yeah, I think slowly. See, some of these changes in these developed economies will come slowly. Plastic has been a huge part of the consumption, and we see it everywhere. Like, for example, in our 18 days, we must have accumulated like 500 different plastic bags. So much of plastic gets accumulated, which for an Indian now, the last 3-4 years, we've been becoming so, conscious of not using plastic in India. I think the world has to do that part of catch up.
One more thing is, in Japan almost all the waste is recycled. So even because you don't feel bad, because even if you throw it, that can be recycled. It's not gone. But in India, if you throw it, maybe I do not know percentage, but it'll just.
No, I'm sure Japan has a much better system of doing the recycling bit.
Like in India, we like to kind of correct it at the source. That okay, let's not buy and sell and use plastic so that there's no this thing about recycling, or maybe that channel is you have to develop.
Yes, and by the way, because our people mostly conscious about food. So what kind of difficulties you feel when eating or finding food? Come here. So what is come? So yeah.
So I think for a vegetarian, generally it is difficult to get vegetarian food through normal Japanese ecosystem. But we've never found it challenging to get vegetarian food. See again, if you go to the railway station or a typical place where Japanese eat food, 100% you will not find vegetarian. It's very difficult. But if you know that listen, I want vegetarian food, I will go to an app, go to Google and say, okay, where can I find Indian food? You know, you find Indian food everywhere. In those places, when you go to those places or those restaurants, there is enough vegetarian food.
Yeah.
If you want a South Indian vegetarian food, you will get South Indian. You want North Indian,
Yeah.
you know, Maharashtra, Gujarat, so all sorts of food is available in Japan. Just that, you know, when you go to railway stations or when you go to, you know, popular places, you know, there you will not find it, but you need to find it through, say, Google
Yeah,
app or something.
in Tokyo there are almost 500 to 600 Indian restaurants.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You will find it in every nook and corner.
So tell me about your name, your age.
Pratyush.
Huh.
And my name is Pratyush Somanchi. I'll turn 13 next month, and I'm from Thane, Mumbai, India.
Where do you study?
In Hirannani Foundation School, Thane. And I'm moving to 8th standard next year.
Oh, okay. And,
you know, next month.
how do you feel traveling in Japan? You like this country or?
I like this country very much. The cleanliness and the perfection of everything, the standards and the quality, they're all,
Tell me if you
they're
say
all very
perfection,
nice.
what is you see perfect?
Like,
Example.
everything is on time. The first train that we took was 45 seconds before the allotted time, which surprised me.
Surprise you.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by perfection. Otherwise, very good country.
Okay. Which countries you traveled up to now? Look there.
I've traveled to the United States of America, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Singapore. All thanks to my father.
Okay.
So
Okay. You went to Africa also? No.
yeah, we've gone to Africa, Kenya and Tanzania too.
Okay.
So
Do you give any message to other children like your age? What do you learn from this travel, or what is that making you, you know, what is that you learning from this travel? Suppose another child want to go like you. Do you suggest that you know he should go because you learned something? Did you learn anything by traveling like this?
yeah, I definitely get to see a lot of places, but you need to put in some thought before you understand. So the cleanliness, there has been put a lot of thought before the change can come. So that's all that I've learned, that everything doesn't come in one go. You have to put a lot of thought and effort into it before it can come.
So in the future, you've seen all these countries. Do you want to change our country also to make it more clean, more
Definitely,
clean?
definitely.
So it is your responsibility also, not only seeing the countries, but you know, something we have to contribute to our country.
Yes.
And anything specifically you like in Japan? Something you like in Japan? Maybe food or location or
I'm
people?
vegetarian, so I couldn't experience the main part of Japanese food.
He likes Nintendo and he visited the Nintendo store.
Yeah, I got a few pictures there, so that's
Okay.
nice.
Is there anything that surprised you during your travel? Or shocked you or surprised you?
When I came to Tokyo, I wanted to, throw some trash away. But I couldn't find one single dustbin for half an hour. And that is what surprised me. A clean city like this with such
So
few.
all these places you travel in different countries, this is the cleanest you feel?
Yeah, the cleanest.
Okay.
So,
With no dustbin.
yeah, with no dustbin.
Okay. And anything that you are surprised or shocked or made you feel you felt happy? How do you feel when you get into the bullet train?
See, definitely in the bullet train, from inside you can't, make out how fast it is. From inside, I felt that the local trains were faster than the bullet trains, but when I was standing on the platform, I felt, cheated. कि मतलब from the inside of the train, it just doesn't tell you how fast the train is. But when you see it from the outside, it's really fast. That was one thing that surprised me. Other than that, Japan, it met up to its standards. Fantastic country.
Okay. And you like the weather here, people also?
Yeah, in some places it was a little cold. I'm accustomed to Indian weather. So at 5 o'clock.
You've been to Hakone. You saw the volcano.
Yeah, the first time we landed, the first time we came out of the bus in Hakone, I was like, no, we have to get into the room. We have to get into the room.
But you thought it will blast.
Yeah, no, it was so cold. It was so cold. The cold was it was unbelievable.
About the volcano.
Volcano. Were you scared of the volcano sulfur smoke coming out and all that? It's the first time you've seen a kind of a smoking volcano.
But like I wasn't really scared. I
Scared.
don't know why, but I wasn't really
You
scared.
are a brave heart, so you have nothing to scare, and you have Bahubali next to you, no? Your father, I mean. Okay, good. Okay, thanks, and you really explained it well, and
Thank
I
you.
think your school is also contributing the way you are able to speak before the camera.
Thank you.
You want to give any message to your friends, because this video your friends might see in the future? So do you ask them to come to Japan, or you suggest to go to some other country?
Recently our class is divided, so if any of my friends are seeing this, please don't forget me.
Okay. Do you also want to speak? No? Okay.
She's shy.
Okay. So
She's
you
shy.
carry on.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot. Your son is, very active, and immediately. It's the same thing. If you ask a Japanese kid, he'll feel very shy to talk. That's
that we
Yeah.
realized. Japanese are shy people, but they are very caring and loving people. No doubt about that.
Okay, good. So, really thank you for because
Oh,
it's
absolutely. It's a pleasure.
why I'm taking these videos. I want to, after 10 years, 5 years, if I look back, this is a memory
Yeah,
for
of
me.
course.
No, absolutely.
It's like a digital record of my life.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing related to finance or fame or
Yeah.
something.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing that you're doing. And in fact, I've seen some of your videos. They are very, very nice. In fact, you take that effort to go the extra mile and essentially talk to an Indian audience, try and tell them about some interesting places in Japan, which is very nice. In fact, I took cues from one or two of your videos, particularly which you had done on, Hakone or the fish market, Shikuji. Tsukiji fish market. But yeah, they're very nice. In fact, you should keep that up.
Okay.
And a lot of people want to know more about these things. These educated age, and especially in regional language, it's all the more important. Because a lot of people do videos in English and Hindi, and all that is happening. I think it's very important that we.
The reason I did it is because I want to show to my family in India. We speak only Telugu at home.
Correct.
So because you speak Marathi and
Yeah.
Hindi, so I cannot speak
No,
Marathi.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
But so the point is, the fact is, you're taking that effort to do that. For an audience based out of India, it is a phenomenal effort. I think because of you, a lot of people, and you have a good subscriber base also, which is important. I mean, 20,000 people subscribing you, following you, listening to you, learning about, things in Japan is a good educational effort that you're doing, and you should keep that up. All the best for that. I hope your tribe grows.
Thank you.
You'll get,
Thank you,
get
Kiran.
2 lakh and 20 lakh followers very soon. You will, I'm sure.
Okay. So thanks a lot. And,
Thanks, guys. Have fun.